let's take a look though. So we do have, as we got a little bit of action going today. Cool. Yeah, we got a little bit of action today. We got the PPI final, and then we had some jobless claims bullshit, and then housing starts and all this kind of stuff. So we've been having a pattern of where the dips have been getting bought, really aggressively on, and whenever we've been having unexpected news. The interesting part today will be if that pattern changes. And that doesn't last forever. So like of the last month, as we've started, this initial part of the uptrend in the market, we've been digesting shady news like nonstop. And actually a lot of the big gap down days, we may not go green on the day, but the gaps have been filling. And that's really, those are telltale signs of just a overall positive market. Now today we've got our first kind of, I would say, kinks in the armor. But maybe kinks in the armor is like, we've actually, once this PPI came out, like we're actually having some level of follow through already. Hey, thanks, Airballs. I really do. It's collagen protein and a lot of fish serums. One day you can also aspire to be those things. Now going back on this, so I think what we need to do is just kind of figure out, okay, where are our levels, on the indexes? So like, even if we stay down here, right, we're just getting smoked out like airballs on prom night by the football team. We're still, this is just one day's worth of gains we've given up, right? So it's not like the structure of the market would change. It would really be if we started to kind of test down into these levels, and then we would have to get a little bit more worried because like now the percentage is like, you don't drop 3-4% in bull markets, right? And so if we're assuming that we're in a bullish phase of the market, then, those kind of bounces, those kind of rips down just don't happen. Like if you're like in 2020, 2021, right? Like, so 4% moves back down to the downside, right? Those bad newses get digested. So let's keep an eye. I would really mark out the levels around 302, 304, and we'll see. And then you have the 90 MA on the daily that's been holding up too. And so I think that's going to be something that we'll have to watch. So make sure, like, you always want to digest out and kind of check out different time frames. And, we'll have kind of different levels of support and resistance around here. So I think probably, this 298s, we've got a whole host of different levels here. And obviously you can draw trend lines till you forever. It'll look like you just have a giant dick fetish, right? Okay. Why do all my charts look like dicks? Well, you draw enough lines on them, they kind of do. So we got to be a little bit careful with this today. The market's, first of all, the market's been fucking easy. So that's the other thing to just kind of keep mindful of. Like, it's like, not only is like the market been kind, but it's been easy, meaning like if you were making $50 a day before, you're probably been making $500 a day right now. If you were making, if you're making $1,000 a day, you're probably making quite a significant amount more. And so that's the nature of, these kind of bullish markets and stuff. And so we could have a couple days of consolidation. It won't be the end of the world, but let's take a look and just see if we got any good earnings plays. The one thing that we can always kind of be mindful of too is like, even if the market's getting smoked out, there's all sorts of earnings plays that's going to happen and stuff like that too. Hey, Jerry, let me take a look. Let me see your guys' list here. So real quick, this SC, you know what? I would keep that on your watch list, Thayer. That's not bad. And the shop is on the downside, huh? So shop's had earnings out. I would keep this on your watch list too. Now, there's been really not any evidence of these kind of gap down shorts working. So we are breaking some levels here, but I don't know if that's going to be, we'll see. You'll have to have some really nice checkles. Roku's got earnings out. So like these are probably, These are all names we can play today. Stocks have been reacting well to earnings, the whole gamut of things. So we've got Twilio here too. So what I mean by the whole gamut of things is like all these stocks that have been announcing earnings, like see this like TTD, we've been getting big time follow through on them. And so even if the market's it wants to fandazzle itself today, I think that we have enough of these kind of earnings plays, right? Like you can see all the follow through that's been happening. Like this PLTR is just a big giant gelatinous turd. It's like the only company in the world that can ever lose money selling to the government, right? Like you sell a government, you should be charging people $50,000 for toilet seats and stuff, right? But no, not Palantir. And so they barely make any money and they only sell the damn government. But now even their earnings have kind of turned a little bit, and you're starting to see these kind of ramps. You can see like the monster, right? The monster volume that's been coming in on all this stuff. Jackie Torrance, what's going on? Cool. So now a couple things we want to do always, right? Beyond just checking our indexes, first gamut, right? We want to know where the sweet spots are on the indexes. So these are the levels we want to watch on the Qs. I wouldn't, the SPY hasn't been doing shit lately. You're like kind of fading off at resistance here, but you're in a box. The level of the magnitude of ascent on the SPY was not as good as it was on the QQQs. We are coming back into some levels of support here too. You can see we just got a big kind of box that we're trading around. So 406 to 415 is kind of in the zone. So, even if you're trying to kind of dip by into the markets today, you kind of want to get more down into these zones before things might get juicy. So just be mindful of that. Now let's take a look at just the gappers. Once you go through your indexes, right, you want to go through the gappers. And one last thing we do want to just check, just so we kind of get an idea, you can see here, this is a measure of market breadth. Market breadth is how many stocks are going up versus how many stocks have been going down. And you can see here, like the number of breakouts yesterday was pretty significant. We had 500 breakout yesterday and very few stocks moving down. So these are 4% breakouts versus 4% breakdown. So you can see like we're in the hundreds for earnings season. That's really, really light. And then, we've had 200, 300, 400, 500 breakouts to the upside. And so we want to see this kind of continuation, and we want to see these kind of market breadth improving. I think that's more important than advance versus declines and all this kind of stuff. You want to see the T2108 and the T2107, right? Rising is telling you the percentage of stocks that are above their major moving averages. When you see market breadth rising, it's telling you that a majority of stocks are starting to participate in the market. And that's really important, right? Because a lot of markets are just index weighted, where it's like, okay, only Apple's going or only Tesla's going. We've had a broader base market of recent. So let's take a look and start getting juicy here on, let's see if there's any PRs out. Travel Centers America, this looks like a buyout, so nothing you can do on that. And guys, the filters on your gap scans, it should be, you can change it depending on the market, but I keep it stuck to $3 and over, volume 50,000 minimum pre-market, and then any stocks that are moving up 4% or more. So EBS, this is Emergent Biosolutions. Hey, you know what? This type of name, like it doesn't got much liquidity in it. We'll come back to that, but in this kind of hotter market, biotechs have been doing really, really well. If the liquidity comes into this, I think we can probably play it. But I really like when I see biotech PRs, like I want to see. We were a month ago, Marcos. We've been talking about that forever. Now that might be over. Why you always late to the party? Let's take a look at the CYH. Yo, so like this is something, this is probably one of the type of names too that like normally like we'd want to be medical, healthcare, biotech, but you don't have that much liquidity in them. Biotechs, you got to have, minimum 500,000 to 1 million shares going off. Roughly $400 acquisition here from Maxim. That's a buyout, no good. Now this Twilio will be interesting today. So Twilio's been one of these beaten down names, right? So you had $400 stock, you've got all the way down to 50. So 80, 90% drop, right? Now you've had a fresh piece of news out, and so you're kind of gapping out over this range. Now the key on this is going to be like, okay, it's just stuck at the 200-day moving average. What do we need to have a kind of clear over this. I like this name only if it ORBs though, or starts to trend into a quick pullback, because on the intraday basis, like already in the pre-market, it's fading off a little bit. So we definitely want to have this. It would need to be a really tight intraday pattern. So you would need like either a picture perfect ORB or let it ORB and do a quick pullback buy. Because when they start fading off this much into pre-market, they get a little bit more tricky. Roku's another beaten down name. Like I like this kind of name, right? So, Doc, you just got a PR. Hold on here. So Roku, this is $600. Right now you're coming back in and you're coming up on earnings, and right, you're kind of gapping out over this 200-day moving average. Like that's the type of moves that we want to be. That's the type of moves that we want to be really a part of. And the other thing is, you got to remember, right, these tech stocks have been really squeezing their balls off as the market has been ramping up. So you get like, even yesterday, right, Airbnb and some of these names, like they're reacting well to their earnings. The Tech Nation. Oof. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's the whole point, Jason. Dude. PBF, adjusted earnings, revenue increase, agrees a joint venture. Hey, so this is not, this is, man. This is a good looking breakout if you don't mind trading some oil stocks and stuff like that. Like the problem with this kind of names is like, okay, if it's got to have to clear this, and I think it probably could get hot. Oil just stinks to trade. Yeah, it really does. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, take a pass. I think we got enough juice on this. Croc adjusted earnings, revenue rise. Now this is nice. I mean, Crocs is like a nasty product. I mean, but it is like what white people really. I mean, without Crocs, what do you guys got left? Everything is getting taken away from the white people recently, man. All the CEOs are Indians these days. All the CEOs are Indians today. The Indian guys are even starting to get white chicks now. Like things have changed. The only thing left for my white people are these Crocs. Yeah, there's nothing like wearing some wraparound Oakleys and a pair of Crocs and advertising that your feet smell because you wear rubber shoes. There's nothing. There's nothing. This is the thing. You get yourself a nice truck, some Oakleys, a nice pair of Crocs. I mean, that right there. That could be the pinnacle. I mean, you throw in a Monster Energy drink. I mean, you're fucking hey, man. Listen, man. Right now, we're going to that goddamn outlet mall. They got special on those Crocs. Hey, mama, pack up that damn cooler with some of them Monster Energy drinks. We get some fun. This is nice. I'd actually add this. I'd add it. I don't know what kind of liquidity is going to be in it. This is probably a B- for me. I don't know what kind of liquidity is going to be in it. I'd rather trade a a Twilio or a Roku. This one's looks hotter, but the liquidity's gonna stink. All right. Genus the penis. This is just a pump and dump stock at this point. You can see all, I mean, beyond the awesome name, Genus the penis is no good. Like you can see all the wicks on this thing. It's just, it's just a liquidity event. They spike up, they fade up, they spike up, they fade off. Yo, docs and junk. Junk. These are all ETFs. Yo, even Cisco Systems is ramping up a little bit. This will be good for tech stocks. And I'm curious to see how this, anybody see, was there any news on SE? Let's see. SI, we had a nice little moment on this yesterday. Some very nice moments. You are getting back into the old high. I was thinking probably you got to leave it alone if it's, if it hits into the 25 spot. But, with a little bit of weakness today, who knows? Like this is probably still playable. But the easy money's been made on this. The play, like if you're coming in on something like this right after the 15 spot, I mean, the play is to just play it till 25. You're not really playing it for the breakout per se. So I think it's probably, it might be a leave alone or an inside day today, to be honest. I hate when people say to be honest. That's such a millennial thing, right? I might as well just say YOLO or something like that, or talk about my feelings. Fuck. Man, I just fell for that. Man. Yeah, let's talk about this. Toast Incorporated. Man, these kind of shorts have not been working that well. This one might be a liquid too, but lately it hasn't been. Loss narrows, revenues rise, blah, blah, blah. You know what? This thing is gapping down like right into support. Probably a leave alone. Shop's got earnings out. Now Shop's been a moneymaker for us for a long time. This is probably something we can play back and forth. I'm not that keen on doing gap down shorts, but this is probably, it's had such a big run up. It may just need to have a fuck off day and get back into this like kind of 50-day moving average. I'd keep it on the list, but not a huge priority. QS. QS, scope widens. Da-da-da. Straight. Hold on. Let's see if I can get rid of this misprint. I love this stock. I ain't gonna lie, just because I had so much good luck trading this thing. I don't know if the setup is there, like it's opened down 10% today. Probably a nothing burger. A lot of these software stocks are getting kind of smoked out today. It's not just, right? You got Toast Shop, RNG is a big software application company too. So this also, like when you see a bunch of these, that may put a little bit of a dent in the tech names today. So we'll have to be careful. If these things start to follow through, then we're not going to be able to have too much fun today. UPST, I actually still think we red to green these things. You had the earnings out yesterday. We had a big rip on this at the open. Now, like you're opening up weak about 5%. See if this starts to get a bid. You may come. This is probably the type of name. You still got a lot of shorts in this one. I play that. If we need a long, we play that for red to green. CVNA had a monster cock close yesterday. This is probably also a candidate for red to green. I'd start shorting this probably more into these ranges, but I think for a few days we can still have a little fun with that one if we need some longs today. Let me see. I do like there's a couple names. Let's play some day two plays. Airbnb, it may, because it was already ramping up 2 days and before its earnings. You may need an inside day on this before you can start to re-ramp it, because that'd be a day 4. I think that one would be a little bit more tricky than, like, let's say, maybe like a Roblox, which could just go right off at the gate if the market starts to rehabilitate itself. We have to be careful today. You can get fake red to greens at the open. If the market's getting shredded down, the red to green spots actually get shorted. So, like, you have to be real careful. Like, you'll often see what's called like this failed follow through, where the market's getting shredded. These things will kind of ramp up because the market starts to fill its gap, and it'll hit the red to green spots, and then they yank it, and then the market ends up trading. Because look, the Qs are already down now 1.5%. We may have a little bit of some deflation today. So I think these earnings plays, we're going to have to give them just like a hot second. I think you can do a day 2 on TTD also. But the big hairy Indian butt of it is that, we're going to need some cooperation here. If this thing gets down into the 2% range, you're going to get a bleed out. You're going to get a bleed out in all these tech stocks that have been really, really ramping. So, Jerry, to answer your question that you were saying before, you can take a look at what you can do is take a look at the QQQs. If you need some shorts today, you go take a look at the QQQs, right? That's your NASDAQ 100. And, you can just go 30-day short, see which ones are up the most the last 30 days. So Tesla is obviously the easy answer. Then you got Airbnb, NVIDIA, Meta, right? So you always start off with, Tesla and NVIDIA's. These are like your first hit. So if the market wants to follow through and get fucked, then you can, go right after the big boys and, go right and just hit the ones that are up the most. Or you can do high cap 1000. That's an easy one, because you still want like liquidity in your plays. So you can see even in the high cap 1000, it's just Tesla, Net. I always thought Net would be in the Qs, huh? App Lovin'. So you got a handful of these. Palantir. So I think you go Tesla. If the market's going to get nailed, like you can see here, we've got tons of room to fall, maybe into this kind of back into this supports. And what we want to see is just how it reacts around yesterday's lows. If we start to see, right, we start to take out some of these spots. Like if you can't hold this 210, you're going to come back into the 206, right? You can't hold the 206, then you could get a bleed out. Good. So add Tesla to the short list. I think you hit NVIDIA. You take a hit if it gets under the 9 EMA. And you could do Meta Nation too. You've got a spot here. You've got a spot here right at 173. Those 3 we hit if we need to fade. Can't chase down too many shorts when the market is down already 1.5%, especially when the price action has been gaps have filled or red to greens have been happening. So we're going to have to kind of, that first 5-10 minutes, you're going to have to wait it out and then see if the market starts to follow through. Then we hit the Tesla, then we go NVIDIA, then we'll go Meta. And then if we need to go back to the upside, like the market actually does start filling its gap, you start to see a trend emerge to the upside. You want to hit the day 2 earnings place. You want to go, right, Roblox. You can do Roblox, TTD, UPST. And then we've got these couple earnings plays too in Roku, in Twilio, that we can fandazzle, and you've got shop too for later. So Twilio, Roku, day 2 earnings plays, and then if we need shorts, we go Tesla, NVIDIA, and Meta Nation. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. What you guys think? Well, hot damn right. Well, hot damn right. Today, I would really make sure you're staying in the most liquid names. If the market does actually want to like pull back and really bleed off for a little bit, you're going to want to really focus on liquidity, because when the market gets nailed, like sometimes certain stocks will become really illiquid as there's just an absence of buyers. Good, 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 good. All right, all right. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. Anybody got anything they watching that they like? What did we miss? Good, good, good. Yay, Sergey. You know what? We've been playing the SI and coin. I think those are good day traders. Coin maybe this will, kind of follow the market up a little bit. I did see the PR on Space. It's already kind of fading off. My only issue with Space is it's just been a tough trader, but yesterday it actually had good range, so keep it. Good. Wait out the open a little bit. I think you're gonna have to give this 5-10 minutes. I suspect. We'll know really quickly if these things have changed. The dips have been getting bought. We'll know pretty quickly if that pattern has changed. Samurai, it was a buyout, brother, I think. Good. All right. I'm fluffing my coffee. Try not to screw up today. Remember, it's been easy the last couple of weeks. Everybody's been making money. This is probably not the day to push the chips in and risk too much of your profits. I trade a little bit small.